Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. I've got a great show today, and I'm calling it Generosity of Spirit. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after the break. Like many of you, I like to think of myself as a generous person, or at least that's the ideal I have in my mind about who I am and those I associate with. I've come to believe that we all hope and trust that we have a place inside of us that realizes it's good to be thoughtful and kind and generous to others. And it's at that foundation of our deep moral makeup that reflects who we are at our soul level. Now, I know that some people probably don't feel that way. While I don't understand their mentality, because, every little thing is theirs, nothing can be given away, we all know that idea. And these people exist even if cleverly hidden by those who are takers rather than givers in our society. As an adult, there is nothing more odious than to see someone in our group or organization who is stingy at best, cheap at worst, and that we don't tend to dismiss them as uncouth, ungrateful, or uncivilized. While the understanding of the concept of generosity is usually taught in childhood, it is a skill that we carry for life if you adhere to the principles of abundance rather than scarcity. As kids, the reality was, I'm sure there were only so many cookies in the box or so much candy in the dish. So the idea of scarcity was real when we were, 5? That was a long time ago. You and the world should have changed by now. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on a topic that you should know, but I do want to focus on a few thoughts I'm seeing about the distress of our community. I'm just going to put it plainly. Friends, you have enough. You are enough. And if you help others, they will grow into being enough too. That gift of generosity of spirit that you provide can change our world for the better. Have to admit, one of my favorite TV shows is Storage Wars. And while I'm intrigued to see what is in the self-storage locker, I am constantly amazed at the trash. I'm sure they think of it as treasure that people save, when in reality, the cost of the unit versus the value of their stuff is weighted on the side of the storage unit company. On this show, the things that people choose to hang on to rather than donate or give or throw away astounds me, show after show after show. So a lot of you know, for about 25 years, I had an auctioneer's license, and I can say with a bit of authority, I learned firsthand that one person's treasure is an auctioneer's trash, and to the dump we go, with a lifetime of Cool Whip bowls, bread bags, broken, chipped, and stained and unusable items that someone could not or would not toss out. Now, please don't hear my critique as being better than or holier than others. It's just my observation that left a lifetime of disgusting memories when I was on the auction circuit, cleaning out houses and barns and units for sale. Pennies on the dollar, if that, for people's treasure. I can't begin to tell you how many times I would walk through a house or an attic. I'd find a musical instrument tucked away in a closet. Maybe clothes and shoes or books and toys in really good condition. They would all be sold for little or nothing or trashed because of the time crunch to clear the property for sale. Sometimes I would just imagine new life being blown into a trumpet by a kid who wanted to learn to play, or perhaps a child's imagination taken to a faraway land by a coffee table book with pictures and places worlds away. Alas, these opportunities were wasted and lost due to neglect or lack of interest by the owners who did not dispose of their treasures while they were alive, while they had a network in which they could have put these items to good use. A number of years ago, I moved to a smaller house, and if there's one thing you realize quickly is how much stuff you have when you're the one packing the boxes for the move. Suddenly, I found that I didn't need a library full of books. Yes, I saved a few of my favorite, but the others went to a book sale. That was just the beginning of cleaning out and making changes to live lighter and without the mountains of stuff propping me up. Listen, everyone has to do what's best for them, but let me be a voice of reason from the outside. Hey people, if you can't get your car into your 2-car garage, or you can't find a thing to wear, or if you can't, I'm going to let you fill in the items, consider giving, donating, or gifting your excess to others. That will be your generosity of spirit, and you will live a bit lighter than how you've lived in the past. By giving things away you don't need, you don't want, you don't really care about anymore, to those who could use a helping hand. No matter where you live, I am sure there's a place nearby as Goodwill or a local rescue mission that will be grateful for your kindness and your stuff. I was going to say junk, but that's a little harsh. Even I know that. One thing we all saw in the recent storm is while many people lost everything, many people who were affected looked around, and if they still had their family and their pets, they realized they'd be fine one day. I have no doubt that the loss of material things is heartbreaking and life-changing, especially the items that held memories. But to still be standing after a storm, that's a gift unto itself. As we saw, the gift of generosity of neighbor helping neighbor in those trying times, will it be easy to recover? I'm just going to be honest, I doubt it. But time and tenacity will help most of them who have the will to live and fight and rebuild for another day. Only time will be able to repay them for their loss. But if you listen closely to the voices of those who accepted the outcome of the storm, for many, it was one of hope and a renewed spirit to start rebuilding. Change is never easy, but I've kind of come to believe that staying the same is just about as hard. As our world rocks and teeters to and fro from nature's fury to nations' unrest to the divide of neighbor against neighbor, holding it all together is getting harder when the winds of change push and pull at the fabric of our society. So, what can we do to provide a place of safety and protection? Well, if you were to ask me, it comes down to 3 or 4 simple ideas that we can all adhere to and accommodate in our daily lives if we're willing to be the change we say we want to be in the world. Let me go back to my idea that I want you to understand and believe, which is you have enough. If you have food, water, clothing, friends, and family, if you have someone who knows your name, trust me, friends, you've got enough. Now, no doubt you would like a little more. I get it. So if that's what you want, then keep moving in the direction of your dreams and don't stop until you achieve the desire of your heart with an understanding that you will receive commensurate with what you give to others. Life just works that way. Friend, if you think you can cheat the system by giving less than your best and thinking you can take more than you give, wow, that would be a mistake and selfish on your part. Don't be misled by the world's push and pull for materialism. By now, you know that within an instant, it can all be washed away. And then what are you left with? I'll tell you. If you live selfishly, you will most likely get back less than what little you gave. If, on the other hand, you were generous, you have every reason to believe that others will be generous towards you. And listen, I'm not a guru, so I can't explain it any better than to remind you of what goes around comes around. So all I'm asking is that you think about that next time you decide to keep or give an item away. I also want to remind you that you, dear listener, are enough. I know I say that a lot, but someone has to say it to you. You are enough. And if you're doing your best, if you're giving it your all, if you are living within the bounds of decency and order and kindness and generosity, then you are enough. Stop with your self-pity and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And settle within yourself and your purpose on this earth in the time that you've got left. You know that you're on this earth for a reason. You were born for such a time as this. Now, friend, it's your job to figure out what you are to be doing with the time you have left. Let's start with a deep dive into understanding that out of 8+ billion people on the earth, no one is like you. Wow. For some of you, that's a good thing. But for the rest, isn't that amazing? I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. No, maybe a minute. No one is just like you. Come on, you gotta admit, that's a pretty amazing thought. So here's my question. Why are you so uncomfortable in your own skin? Hear me yet again. You are enough, just the way you are. And if you don't like how you look or feel, then what can you do to make your outside as happy as your inside DNA that makes you uniquely you? Never forget the bigger picture, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you have a purpose in life, a calling, a command to live up to your best ideal and your full purpose. So set aside the self-defeating image of your made-up, gloomy self-esteem. Step onto the grand stage of life. Live fully in the light. And yes, I said the self-defeating self-esteem because as I work with so many people, I find the easiest place to hide is in the all-consuming excuse of poor self-esteem. Someone, somewhere, didn't do what you wanted or you felt they should have done for you. Okay, shame on them for not doing their part. Now stop living in the past and accept the future that you are enough. So now, for the rest of your life, live like it. Before you lay your head down on the pillow tonight, realize that when you help others, they will grow into being enough too. So here's where it gets a bit harder for you and others, since I'm asking you to give up a bit of time, space, and energy to help someone else achieve a place to stand in this world. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do this because you have shown wonderful courage in the past, and I am using that as a predictor for your future. I'm sure you understand that if each of us would work to make a difference in the lives of one or two others, the world would be a vastly different place for the good of all of us. I'm not sure you'll ever understand how much our friends and neighbors need to hear that they're okay. Until I became a coach, I don't think I would have believed it myself, and that all will go well if they stay on the path that's good and right and not to veer off course. The simple fact that you believe in yourself is enough to give others hope and faith in a system that they too are enough. Too many of our friends and neighbors believes the system ignores them and leaves them on the outside. But the truth is, the only reason they're on the outside is they lack the faith and belief in themselves to come in from the cold. And that's where you come in. You, amazing you, can be the light that warms their soul into believing that they are enough too. And the best part of knowing that, because you believed in them, they dare to believe that they are enough, and they can soar with the best to dream of a new place where they can give back to the generosity that they borrowed from as they were getting their footing for success. Our friend, let's be generous of spirit. Let it be said of us that we helped others become the best they could be as they made their place in this world. I can think of no better gift to the world, our friends, our family, than to be thought of as being generous of spirit. And as usual, I like today's theme. And I like today's theme because I believe anybody can do it. Friend, you can be that person. But we got to get you, back on the right path yourself so you can grow into being who you were born to be. And friend, here's the fact. I hope you'll join me week after week so we can continue this journey together as we work towards a better day for all of us. And remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you because I believe with your generosity of spirit that will reach those around you, you will do big things in this world. And I am going to cheer you on as I watch you follow your dream to great success. All right, thanks for listening. Take care, everybody. Join me next week.